Welcome to Season 2 of the Generational Dental Wealth Show. Season 2 is all about increasing dental financial IQ. We do record these live in studio at Team Studios, so if you want to see the video format of this show, go ahead to Spotify or YouTube. Also, if you want to join the Generational Dental Wealth community, go ahead to teamfinancials.com/educate. Let's hop into it.
Welcome to the Generational Dental Wealth Podcast. My name is Dr. Jermaine Affetti.
My name is Kingsley Affetti, CPA.
And we have a special guest here for you today. As you can see, there's 3 people here today, not the 2 usual. So I'm going to let our special host take it away. Tell us about you.
Hello. I am Dr. Octavia Miller. I'm from a very small town in North Carolina called Warsaw. Fun fact that there are more pigs than people in the entire county.
Wow. Same reaction.
That's wild. That's wild. So we're going to hop into her story today, just get a little bit of background and what are all the success clues that you have left along this journey to where you've come today. Sometimes I feel like people just pop up overnight successes, but there's really a whole backstory. You just weren't following the story. So we're going to use this next 20, 30 minutes to recap this backstory so now people can understand and see what are the success clues and see what really do I resonate with and what are some of the things that I can start adding to my life that you added to your life to lead to your place of success. So we're just going to hop it off really quickly. If you can give us your background on where'd you go to undergrad and what are some of the things you did along that way within undergrad to prepare for dental school.
Yeah, for sure. So I think my story starts way back, almost like high school. Education-wise, like I come from a place where not too many people go to college. It's actually a town where only 10% of the 58,000 people actually have a college degree or higher. Wow. So me just saying I wanted to go to college was kind of a big deal. And I had no idea what I was getting into. The only other people I knew that went to college really were my teachers. You know, and I knew I wanted to be a doctor of some sort, had no idea how to make it, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to East Carolina University and we're just going to figure it out. My godfather played football there and it was not too far from home, but like not too close. So this was kind of a good safety kind of spot for me. So at ECU, I majored in health services management and business administration. And that was more so like a safety net. Like I knew I wanted to be a doctor, but I'm like, just in case this dentist thing doesn't work out, like maybe I can still run a, nursing facility or a hospital or something like my mom does. So that was kind of just my little safety net and hopefully this works out. And if not, I have a backup plan. So during that time, remember, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I worked 5 jobs throughout my whole time in undergrad. Sometimes at the same exact time. Like go to class at 8, go to my next job, and then leave that job, go to another job. At night, had another job. So granted, I didn't have like the absolute A+ score or grades that most people need to get into dental school. I was definitely like a B student considering everything else. So I ended up doing a master's program at Baylor University in biomedical science. It's absolutely amazing, and his whole goal is to get people into pre-professional schools. So in that 2 years, I shut down my life. I lived in Miami, which sounds exciting, but I was at the library most of the time. So living in Miami, did a master's, came back to East Carolina University, and that's where this kind of all shoots up from here.
Well, just real quick, I mean, the story is very intriguing. And I noticed, I didn't even realize all 3 of us went to ECU. And so that's crazy how everything kind of came back full circle. Us coming from Charlotte, you coming from a little south of Greenville. So I don't know, it's kind of funny. Everything comes full circle, seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you worked 5 jobs. My question to you is, what was your favorite out of all the 5 jobs?
And why?
And why?
Yeah.
Honestly, I will tell you, being a waitress or a server at Cheddar's was my absolute favorite job. Super fast paced. You got to interact with people. Definitely, everyone should work in a restaurant at some point. You will see how crazy people are, and it definitely makes you appreciate nice people for sure. And honestly, it's like an instant gratification as well. Whether somebody left you a tip of $1 or $20, you're just like, I'm getting money like right now. This is going home with me.
Yeah.
So that kind of was motivation. It was like the better that I did, usually the better of a tip that I got. So that motivated me to just like do more, show up more, pick up more shifts. Cause I'm like, I'm making some money today regardless.
Yeah. The reason I asked that question is because I'm very big on success clues. Like I feel like people, again, you don't just pop up overnight. Usually the things that were enjoyable in your career path that you had before dentistry are going to be the same things you enjoy about dentistry, right? So more than likely, you probably like interacting with your patients. You like the instant gratification of coming in and knowing like I did something today, right? Like small things like that people don't really know. Like, so again, search within yourself today and start figuring out what are the small things that you currently enjoy in your life and figure out how you can extrapolate that into a practice. All right. Whether if that's bringing it to a particular private practice or bringing it to a DSO or whatever it looks like. What are those special things about you that you enjoy that other person might just be like, that's not a big difference. I don't really like interacting with people. Right. So this all really depends from there. So the next question I have for you was when it comes to Barry. Why Barry? Out of all programs, and if you could delve into what are some other popular post-bachelor programs that other people could do, or a master's program that they can do to matriculate to their desired destination.
Great question. So I found Barry through a Google search. Once I was talking to some school administrators on what I should do to become a better applicant, they suggested some schools I should go to. One of them were Mississippi College, which has a great, reputation for doing the same thing. But I was just kind of like, I'm a cute little black girl going to Mississippi. Like, I just don't know if that's where I belong. Some other ones were like the physiology masters at North Carolina State University. And I was just like, what am I going to do with a master's in physiology if it doesn't work out? So again, that was me also just kind of safeguarding myself, like, I'm not teaching anyone physiology. Like, it's just not my thing. There's a few others I've heard of. Like, there's a post-bac at UNCG. And I felt as though if I was going to spend time and more money, taking more classes, like I wanted to have something to show for it. So I definitely wanted to have like a master's because why not? You're putting in that extra effort. But all of those, no matter what people choose, is what you make of it. If you already know you have to take an extra step, like put your all into that next step. So no matter where you go or where you get that extra credits from, you make it work for you.
So it sounds like to me that all of your plan Bs could be plan As. Like that's what it sounds like to me. And it's weird because another thing, Kingsley, you didn't point out is the fact that we all have our business degrees.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like she did healthcare management at ECU. I did healthcare management at ECU with the same thought process that worst case scenario, I can lead a system. I can lead something that help create change from a top-down perspective versus a person-to-person perspective. And then went on and got my business degree as well. So we're going to have some fun topics when it comes to the business side of things, but we'll get there. There.
I think in general, I think we all have the mindset of, build the foundation first. And then you can kind of take more risk, right? That's the same reason I went and got the accounting to make sure. At the end of the day, I knew I probably wasn't going to be in accounting until the day I died. But I said, this is a very, reliable type of industry. Let me get this first and then figure out what comes next. So, I definitely appreciate that. So, you want to hop into kind of get into the next steps in the dental school and how she kind of got here?
Yeah. So you went to Barry. You obviously killed it. You did your thing, right? Now, what? See, don't listen to her. She obviously did it because she obviously announced herself as doctor. So we're going to move on from that side of things. So once you finish up at Barry, like what does the process of applications look like? How do you choose East Carolina? I know for everybody it seems like, obviously you're going back to East Carolina, but it's not obvious. So how did that process go?
Yeah, so during my time doing I guess I call it my real application cycle, I learned very quickly it's sometimes not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know.
So I spent a lot of time traveling, going to conferences or going to all these kind of meet and greets. So one, I knew exactly where I wanted to be because I knew these schools, but also those people also knew me. And so that just kind of broadened into, I don't know what, like I would be in Boston and I would meet people or see people that also saw me in Orlando, and then we start hanging out there, and then somehow we're in LA, and so I built almost a family somewhere, but I always had a familiar face, and they knew that I was doing the work, to get to where I wanted to be. So it all boiled down to all the schools that I applied to, I got into except for maybe 2. And they were just kind of just shooting a shot anyway. And so when I had to decide where I wanted to be, that was kind of hard because I spent my time in Greenville, and Greenville is Greenville. It's
Went ahead and did your
love
time.
it, but yeah.
Anybody who stayed in Greenville knows what that statement means.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else has to be said about it. And so it was either that or kind of go up north where it's cold and more expensive. And then it all came down to the work that I put in before, where people were like, I'll give you this scholarship if you come here, and I'll give you this scholarship. And so to me, it really did come down to where I was going to end up best financially. And I know that I always want to keep my talents at home.
Okay.
You know, if I know I have some talents and I can help the people that help me, then why not?
That's good.
That's awesome.
That's
good.
awesome. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Keeping your talents at home is definitely important. But one thing that you said that really stuck out to me was the fact that you started going to different cities and running into the same people and started to build a community, right? And from the outside looking in, it really feels like the dental community is just so large. So can you speak on how quickly the dental community shrunk, in your opinion, as you're starting to go to these different cities and you're not even in dental school yet, and how other people can start meeting other people within dentistry so they can start shrinking it, so they can start enjoying that experience within dentistry quicker?
Yeah, absolutely. As we all know, that 3.8% of all dentists identify as African American. So it's already small to start with. And one should always present themselves in the best way anyway. But once you start going to these cities, you start meeting the same people, your work ethic begins to be known. It's like, okay, she was here and then she was there. So this girl is actually putting in the work to get to where she wants to be. She's not waiting for an opportunity to fall into her lap, but she's going to get them. And she's going to meet everyone in position to put her into those places. And so as a pre-dental student at that time, that was super imperative for me. There's a time where during the application cycle, my application just didn't go through the system, essentially, and I was able to call someone and say, hey, you know, I submitted my application way early in the cycle, but I haven't heard anything. Someone gets on the computer, hey, I'll look it up. You know, oh, actually, there was somewhere in the background that I didn't come through, so I'll push that forward right now. Wow. I had an interview the next week. So just by knowing those people, you land in the right places.
Yeah. So you said definitely knowing the people is important, but you said the hard work, right? Like sometimes people expect other people to take them where they want to go. But as you can already hear today, she got her undergrad in healthcare administration. She got her undergrad in business. She got her master's, and she's showing up to places. She's not just waiting for people to give her an opportunity to succeed. Yeah. It's just serendipitously running into people who actually have a say in her future. And again, one analogy I always make is that if you see somebody on the side of a street and sitting there and trying to wave somebody down, that person's gonna look a little suspicious. Versus you driving past somebody and you see them pushing the car, you know what I'm saying? Like, just as myself personally, I'm thinking like, okay, this person is not just waiting for help. This person's trying to get active. They're walking up the highway. They're trying to go get gas, something. That person is going to be more likely to receive help when they're already helping themselves. They're gonna get with somebody who can help them move faster. But if you just sitting, I mean, it's hard to get something in motion that's not in motion.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I have a quick question, because I do know a few people that are like trying to get into dental school, and maybe they're pre-dent, just took the DAT. Do you think, did you ever feel out of place, even though you weren't in dental school yet, but you were trying to go connect with different dentists and travel and do all, like, did you ever feel out of place, like, okay, what if all this effort is going to lead to nothing? Like, can you kind of speak to that feeling and kind of how that process was? Like I said, you still taking these risks, maybe traveling, trying to meet different people, but you hadn't even been accepted or gotten into dental school yet. How was that kind of season for you? Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. At one point, you're like, I don't know what my stats are. You know, I'm just kind of doing this. And that's where the work comes in, is that you still have to be diligent with your schoolwork. You still have to make sure your essays are together, all this stuff. So when you present yourself, this is your best self, essentially. So I have a lot of people that come to me all the time, like, hey, can you help me this? Hey, can you help me this? And I'm like, okay, well, what's your GPA? Or like, what are you doing outside of school? And they're like, nothing. And I'm like, well, there's not much I can do for you if you're not also putting in that work behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, I think that makes total sense. We went to speak at Chapel Hill Dental School a few weeks ago, and Doc kept asking the dental students a really great question. He said, what is your biggest achievement outside of dentistry? And I think that was sometimes a tough answer, right? But from what you're saying, right, being diverse, having other things outside of just your GPA to show, right, that was really important to you, and that kind of helped you climb that success ladder a little bit. So I'm definitely with you on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can go around a room sometimes, like in a dental school or even a doctor's setting, and say, "What was your major? What was your major?" It's gonna be biology, chemistry, chemistry. You know, and then by the time you're just like, okay, everybody majored in biology, and then here's me, health services management, which is already a long word as it is, and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" You know, that's different. It seems a little like risk takey or just out of the box, and sometimes you have to be out of the box to stand out.
I'm glad you circled back to that, because number one, you're not trying to be mean when you're asking somebody like, what's your GPA? Because I'm just asking you what they're going to ask you anyways, right? So you need to get confident, like talking about it. And if you don't feel confident in your numbers or the body of work previously, then let's work harder in the body of work to come, you know?
Exactly.
And everybody, for some reason, used to think that it has to be chemistry or biology, which you have to major in to go to or matriculate into medical school, dental school, pharmacy school, any of those schools. But believe it or not, all the prerequisites are the same for all those programs. This was like maybe 20 years back. They made all the prerequisites the same. Bio 1, Bio 2, Gen Chem 1, Gen Chem 2, Physics 1, Physics 2, Chemistry 1, Chemistry 2. It was all the same prerequisites. Or maybe I said Orgo 1, Orgo 2. I'm not even sure which one, but the same 8 requirements for all of them. So from there, it doesn't really matter what you major in. And that's where strategy comes into it a little bit, right? Like if you play the game everybody plays, you're going to get the result everybody gets. And if you're happy with that, perfect. But as you can hear, her plan B was, at the very least, I can still help people, right? So you got to strategically put yourself in a position where you can continue to do the purpose that's within you to continue to help people. So that's a great segue to now you're in dental school. Mm-hmm. You chose East Carolina, right? Now what? You're in dental school. Let's say your first year. You're the new D1 now. How do you create separation between yourself and everybody around you to make yourself identifiable that I am a resource here to help everybody here if you just give me a way to help?
Yeah, so I can't say that I ever wanted to separate myself per se, okay. But I did start dental school as an older-ish student. I think I started at 26, 27. So my mindset was already a little bit different than people that went straight through from undergrad at 23-ish years old. And so once I knew that I was in school, my mind automatically went to, there's a life outside of this.
Gotcha.
I'm working on my doctor life now. And so I wanted to make sure I set myself up for no matter where I wanted to work. Kind of the same thing with getting a dental school. If I want to work over here or work over there, work over here, I want to know the people that are doing those things that can also help me get into that position.
Okay.
So I always have this mindset, it's like when you are kind of at the D1, the freshman level, like you have to work your way up. And so I wanted to be known, or I wanted to know the people that were already up here, so then that could help me get to where I wanted to be.
That's good.
Sure. I think that's one of the key things when you come in as a D1. I mean, you have one or two options. Either you can just sink into the background, or you can figure out how can I help the pressure points of the leaders that are ahead of us, right? Like it's always important when you come into a new situation to assess what can I help with, right? Instead of figuring out what can I get from the situation, how can I help? And one thing I can speak on when it comes to East Carolina, just during my time at UNC, seeing it from afar, was just seeing the amazing leaders East Carolina really had in place. It was just beautiful to see, going to different conferences and just different gatherings and just seeing how many different leaders y'all had in place. And it wasn't just leaders y'all had in place. It seemed like there was like a streamlined way of being able to pass on the succession of leadership to the next generation. So it was interesting to see, as when you were a D4, right, how you were already working on the ones who were coming after you to make sure that, okay, East Carolina's going to be left in a really, really good hands. So I love that position of leadership. You want to speak anything on that?
No, I would just say I was very fortunate to have people within sight that I could say, I want to be like her, or I want to be like him.
That's good.
And they would push you and say, be better than me. So I'm already kind of brainstorming. She did this, she did that, she did that. So now I have to do this and this and this. And you brought up a good point, was that it's also important that when you are here, that you already start grooming these people to surpass you. And so that's what I told, after I finished my presidency with SNDA, I tell them all the time, be better than me. Reach out to me and let me know how I can help you be better than me, because I want your stats to always surpass the next.
That's the beautiful thing about mentorship, and in a true, pure sense of mentorship. You want the one who comes after you to be better than you. How can somebody who has your knowledge now available to them not be better than you? So when it comes to, even when you are in that position of mentee, it is honestly, it's your responsibility in a relationship to become great, so they can live through your greatness and know that they had a contributing part to that. So now you're reaching the end of dental school, and it's time to figure out, as a D4, what comes next. Like, what was going through your head?
All the things. You have kind of everybody in your ear. You should do this and you should do that, and you should specialize here, or you should do an extra year there. And sometimes you have to just drain it out, cut everyone out, and just like think to yourself, like, what am I ready for? What can I handle? What can I do? What is my skill set now? And then let that determine kind of your next moves. You can definitely listen to other people and, their advice and their opinions, but they're not you at the end of the day.
That's good.
So for me, like, I knew I wanted to get into work. Again, as an older student, I'm kind of like, I'm done with school. I just cannot. And that was just kind of my take. And I knew I had some other mentors that, again, I want to be like them, that went the same route and made it work. And one thing about me, I'm going to make it work regardless. So that's something I know about myself. If I knew I didn't have the motivation to do more, on my own, then sure, I can do another extra year here. But being a self-motivated person, I knew I was ready to go into work. So moving into the work piece, and it's like, okay, where do you want to work? There's private practice, there's DSO, there's this, there's community. And so I actually started, again, looking at these same things my D1 year, going to some conferences, and I started meeting people in these different positions, and I started watching these companies and these private practices and how they moved and what they did. So ultimately, I actually ended up deciding on going with the DSO because I fit it best with my life and my little 3 to 5 year plan right out of school.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. That's really good. But one thing I'm getting at through all your answers is that I'd rather the onus be on me than just wait for things to happen.
I'm getting the same exact thing. Exactly. I love it. I love it.
And that's important, because I guess sometimes we're in this dental journey, whether if you've been practicing for 10 years or you're a D2, and sometimes it's easy to just get caught up with the minutia and just hope that everything goes well and I can outproduce my problems and I can just study hard and everything's going to work out. But in real life, there's so many extenuating factors. And you heard she said she went to different conferences. She was being very active in the decision making before the decision was even available to be made. And that's just important to us in general. And that's one of the main reasons that even travel dentistry was important to me. It's like, you want to get as much information as possible before it's time for the big decision, right? So to that really, really sticks out. So we're going to wrap up this first half of the episode. Thank you for really sharing your story with us. Tune in for part 2. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
See ya.
If you love today's show, you can go ahead and give Dr. Octavia a follow on Instagram at Dr. Octavia. That's Dr. OCTAVIA. Or you can go ahead and give her a follow on LinkedIn at Octavia Miller.